Tim Ridley, PhD, depth psychology.
Right. So you're on a runaway trolley that's going down the tracks, and you see five workers in front of you, and you can't hit the brakes, but you can turn onto a secondary track, but you see that there's one worker on that track as well.
Right.
What would you do if you were in this situation?
Yeah, this is the. So does it matter if I know this, if I've heard this before or done this before? It doesn't matter? Okay.
I want to hear your response.
Well, I mean, with five people, you would want to save the five people, I think. I would want to save the five people, I think. I think it's hard to know without doing it for sure, but yeah, I think I would flip the switch and go to the other track.
What do you think constitutes a moral act?
Well, depends on how you define morality. I think I've personally, through my academic studies, have made the distinction between moral and ethics, as moral is something internal, where ethics is something external. And so a moral act would be something that's spawned from the internal, through this, from the psyche, from the body, but from the personal versus the collective.
So would you say that you were committing a moral act if you flipped the switch and saved the five people?
I don't know if I would call that a moral act. I think it would. I think that might be more of an ethical act because I would be doing it. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. Would that be a moral act to save the five but to kill the one? I think so.
Okay. Building off of that, do you think numbers matter in morality? Like the number of people affected by your decisions?
Sometimes they do, but I wouldn't call it an absolute. So I would say that it would be on a case by case basis. But based on my previous answer, I made the conclusion that it was a moral act because I saved the five, but it's also an ethical act because of the collective. So, yeah, I would say that it seems likely that that has something to do with it, but it's not everything, and it wouldn't be an absolute.
And then going a little further, do you think an action itself or the consequences of an action matter more when it comes to reality?
An action itself or the consequences of an action.
So do you think an action in itself can be moral, or do you think the consequences of an action are what make it moral?
No, I think it's the action itself. I think you can have a moral. I think it would be possible to have a moral act that would have bad consequences. Because if it's moral, based on the way that I defined it as personal, then it's what I believe. It comes from a personal decision, and it could have negative effects on others, or it could have unintended consequences on others that were bad.